Commissioners, as I'm outlining again here, I've said when I started, we investigate the picture emerge that calls for further investigation. So this commission is here to help us answer the question of how involved are the politicians and other private people, including police officers, how are they involved in interrupting the work of the security cluster in administering this criminal justice system. This is but one that you're going to see at the end, how Mr. Adams' action is impacting to the work that the team is doing. And again, posed to say this with respect, I had indicated that when we were discussing in length, we were talking about the political killings testing. We mentioned that Khumalo is the project manager there. Khumalo, who is a divisional commissioner of crime intelligence. We presented that Khumalo at crime intelligence becomes aware about what's happening in Gauteng province. And he registers a case internal within crime intelligence that is running as a project inside crime intelligence that is in charge of. It is that case that links to these high-profile, the Mulifes, the Matlalas that get arrested. As you're going to see the picture late, it is an operation within crime intelligence, the GCI Ops, not the PKTT. These actions that follows from there onward, how they're going to link to the work of that GCI Ops. That's a picture we're going to show you towards the end, commissioners. So, but what we know here is that we're tracing steps back as when an incident happens. We go back and we ask, we investigate what led into this, going backward. So, although we are explaining it here where it started, but not how we investigated. We investigated by starting at the result of something, and we backtrack to establish, like a crime scene. We're going to come to court and say, so-and-so killed that person. But we start by attending the crime scene. We collect evidence, we track back everything until we find the reasons. Then we say, this is a suspect who conducted this crime. So this is exactly what we are doing now. We are telling you who did what, which eventually will result into the interruption of the criminal justice system, which this commission is assisting us to investigate. So, Mr. Adams, on the 29th of October in 2024, he went to Cape Town police station and he opened 3 cases. And these cases, I'm going to invite you, should be public record, to even look at what is contained on his complaint. It does not even warrant the registration of a case. There's no elements of crime on his complaint. But nonetheless, he opened the complaint. And the complaint is really about the vetting procedures within crime intelligence, a space that he ought not to play in. So he takes this sensitive information and he goes to the police station, and he goes and opens a case at the police station, which therefore means he has access to the records within crime intelligence of the secret information that he should not be in possession of. But he takes that information, he goes to a police station, he opens the case about that. And this information, as I said, the vetting procedures of the South African Police Service, where the allegations that the police is manipulating systems within the voting process. This is a person that, as I said, Commissioner, is not within the Joint Standing Committee of Intelligence in Parliament. He's in an open committee. But he opens a criminal case about the matters of crime intelligence. Mr. Adams further claims that there's an abuse of the secret fund account. He does not have an oversight. He doesn't even know the budget allocated because he's not part of the committee. But he claims here that there's an abuse of the secret fund account at crime intelligence. So his accusation, his claims, allegation is that this secret fund account these funds are being channeled to places where they're not supposed to go, including the procurement of vehicles for a political task team in KwaZulu-Natal. We demonstrated yesterday about the budgetary expenditure and everything from the team, where it comes from. But he claims here that this money from the secret fund account is used to purchase vehicles of the political task team. Surely, he, as a complainant, you will provide proof for this. I like to believe that as a complainant, he should be able to demonstrate that he has an evidence that this money was spent here for this resource. He further claims on his complaint, commissioners, that this political task team is a private entity that provides service to the former Minister of Police, Bheki Cele. That's what he puts on the documents, on the A1 statement that he deposited at the police station. He accused that the team is basically an armed force of Gerald Cele. That's his accusation. And the other case that he opens, commissioners, is that he raises concern or is challenging the appointment of one Ms. Mukwele, who was appointed as a technical support service at the Crime Intelligence Division. So he claims that this appointment was irregular and it should not have happened. So these cases are registered on the 29th of October in Cape Town. 29 October 2024 in Cape Town. 2 days later, commissioners, on the 31st of October, Mr. Adams, he raised the same complaint and he lays the same charges, exactly identical, at Orlando Police Station in Johannesburg. 2 days later, 29 and 31, and these are records on our case files in the police we have. They can be obtained by the commission if you so wish. He complains that he raised these complaints to Gauteng, and they are registered on the 31st. 3 cases are registered in Orlando Police Station. 29, 31st. On the 1st of November, Mr. Adams sends an email directly to the Minister of Police, Mr. Senzo Mkhunu. He is complaining to the minister, and his complaint says that there are efforts to undermine investigation related to these cases, and therefore is requesting the minister to intervene. His email is attached as a reference that he sent to the Minister of Police.
General, if I may assist, that email you reference at paragraph 176 of your statement, and that is MK14, starting at page 265.
That's correct.
Thank you. You may proceed.
So these are the timelines that I'm putting it before the commission. That 29 October, 3 cases in Cape Town. 2 days later, 31st of October, 3 cases, similar complaint in Orlando and Johannesburg, some 1,500 kilometers other apart. A day later, a complaint to the minister that the 2 cases or the 2 provinces where he registered cases, there's some efforts to undermine investigations. So he's got evidence that there's an effort to undermine investigation on both of these provinces. That's why he then sends a complaint to the Minister of Police. So it is interesting indeed to know that this claim that Mr. Adams presented in Cape Town, he claims on his email that he knows that there was an interception of the investigation and the docket had been intercepted. So I really don't know what does that mean. that you register a case in one instance, Commissioner, a complaint is a statement is deposited at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The case is registered at 8 o'clock in the evening. But 2 days later, he claims an interception. Perhaps even by the time he claims, that docket has not even been allocated to the investigating officer. But he is already moving to another province to complain about it. So this is what he puts in the complaint to the minister, that there's interception of the docket in Cape Town, and he further claimed that he had been notified that the Gauteng Police Department had followed the same modus operandi as the Western Cape Provincial Commissioner and is interfering in the investigation process. So this is one man, a member of parliament, that is convinced that within the period he's opened the case, there's an interference already. And he leaves the one province, he goes to another one, he opens a case, 24 hours later he registers a complaint that they are following the same modus operandi as Cape Town. So how we concluded to this, I really don't know. Perhaps he will be invited here to come and explain why he reached this conclusion. But as we investigate, commissioners, you're going to pick up some linkages of his involvement in this work that the team are doing in uncovering the criminal syndicates within the police. So this is the build-up to such. That's why we are focusing on this. This complaint, upon landing at the minister's office, first he sends an email to the minister, and after that follows another email to the chief of staff of the minister of police and other people that he copied the emails to. But the first one was directly to the minister of police. Subsequent to that, the minister's office directed this complaint to the office of the National Commissioner. This is a complaint that comes on the 1st of November. The National Commissioner directs the minister's office directs this to the National Commissioner's office, and they request the National Commissioner to respond by the latest, the 4th, which is 3 days later. They must give a response into these allegations of Mr. Adams. The National Commissioner's office acted on that complaint by directing a division in the police that is responsible for dealing with complaints, which is a division inspectorate. The report from the Divisional Commissioner, Lieutenant General Jacobs, is attached and marked MK15 in this regard. This General Jacobs and the team, upon receiving this complaint, they acted upon by trying to reach out to the complainant, Mr. Adams. They were not successful in trying to get him to come and elaborate on this complaint. And they read through the complaints and the dockets that he has registered at the 2 different provinces. They could not find anything that justified his complaint to say there was an interference with the investigation. And as a result, in their conclusion, General Jacobs, which is summarized in the report that is sent to the National Commissioner, of which the National Commissioner responded to the minister, was that the complaint of Mr. Adams was premature, and the police should be allowed to first investigate this matter, and upon the investigation, and maybe the further analysis can be done whether there is any interference or not. But the biggest problem on this is the fact that the complainant himself does not avail himself when he is contacted by the people who are now investigating his complaint. He does not avail himself to be engaged in order to form the basis of his complaint in this matter.